Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. And yep, they do not ask you how you win hockey games, only that you do win hockey games or that you do not win the games. And thank gosh for that, because the Montreal Canadiens win 4-3 in overtime over the Seattle Kraken. And I wish I could just leave it at that and call it good, but that is not the case. The Canadiens were up 3-0 at one point, early, like 6 minutes into the third period, and then the Seattle Kraken really just got to work and made it really challenging for the Montreal Canadiens to come out of that with 2 points. I think at the end of overtime in that game, you might have been happy that the Montreal Canadiens were coming out with 1 point, which is a really big turnaround considering the fact that we were up 3-0, with 6 minutes, with like 14 minutes or whatever left in the third period. So definitely an interesting game, and definitely starting to see a little bit of a theme coming along for the Canadians here. In the way that they're able to play full games. This is something I've been talking about forever here. It's just the Canadians they can't really seem to put together a full 60-minute performance in a way that you would like to see them be able to do. But oh well. A win is a win. Cole Caulfield gets the first goal of the game. A really nice, passing play by everybody there. Dobson gets it down to Suzuki. Slavkovsky, he doesn't get a point on this one, but he's able to kind of like shield Dobson so that nobody can take the puck off of him, and that's kind of a nice, play that doesn't get on the score sheet really, but you watch the replay back and you can see Slavkovsky is really protecting the puck carrier there, Dobson, to make sure that he's able to make the play that he wants with it. He gets it on Suzuki, who makes it just an unreal pass. It almost looks like, if you watch the replay on Suzuki's pass there, it looks like an NHL 24 glitch. Like, he passes it and it goes like through Decord's pads and ends up on the tape of Cole Caulfield, who has literally the entire net to shoot at, and just puts it straight in the net. So a really nice play by Suzuki, who extends his point streak to 10 games, so that ties his current, like, his personal record in his career. So that's really great for him. Cole Caulfield, with both goals tonight, I think is back in contention for top of the league in terms of goals. Let me look in real time here. Yep. As of right now, like just past midnight Central Time, he is in a four-way tie with McKinnon, Hughes, and Dorofeyev for league lead in goals with 9. So that's pretty awesome too. It's good to see them. He's staying in the mix in that conversation, kind of similar to how he was last year. It'll just be interesting to see as the season goes along if he's able to stay in the mix like that, or if he falls back a little bit and other guys kind of catch him up. I know last year he was in the mix for a good month and a half or whatever, and then Leon Draisaitl kind of pulled away from the rest of the league entirely, and Cole wasn't really in the picture anymore, although he did have 37 goals last year, so nothing to scoff at. But he's playing really well. Obviously, he looks. Craig Button said a lot of, again, every time I listen to him on the TSN broadcast, he cracks me up, because I mean it's like I'm a Canadians fan. I want to listen to people gas up the Canadians, and that's great, but I don't like the only time Greg Button said anything nice about the Seattle Kraken was when they tied the game to make it 3-3, and then he had to say something nice about them. But it was all he can talk about is how good Nick Suzuki is, and it's just funny to listen to. But he did say also that Cole Caulfield just looks a little bit quicker this year, and honestly, I definitely agree with that. I feel like obviously the goals are coming for him, which is great, but that's kind of something that he's done a lot in the past few years. But what's really promising to see from Cole is just like his the rest of his game, like his speed, his ability to make plays is looking a little bit better. He's just looking a little bit faster, a little bit stronger than he was last year, or just like throughout his career entirely. So it's really great to see, and it'll be interesting to see how he progresses as the season goes along. So that was good, and then he doubles down. He gets another point there. Uri Slavkovsky gets a power play goal. This was really nice power play movement by the first power play, and again, adding Demidov onto that first power play, I'm pretty sure I'll have to go back and look at exactly what I said, but I'm pretty sure I called it. I said, that they should make that first power play unit with Slavkovsky on the bumper and Cole somewhere, and Slav and or sorry, Demidov and Suzuki on the wings with Hudson up top. That's what they've gone with right now, and it's working really well. Obviously not always, but in that instance, they made some really nice puck movement. Suzuki was able to get a pass that went down to Caulfield, and he was able to make the quick, one touch pass, and Slavkovsky was wide open. I mean, he had three guys surrounding him, but nobody was really guarding him. They were all looking. They all thought the pass was coming to Demidov at some point because. Demidov, like, obviously you got to respect him considering the season he's had so far. But like I think just even if he doesn't do anything, he's a threat, and it pulls penalty killers over to him because they want to make sure that he's not getting a shot away, and especially when Demidov's got the puck, you got to be worried about what kind of crazy pass he's gonna make, because we've seen some really nice passing plays out of him recently. So. So like I think just having him on that power play unit just makes the team more dangerous on the power play, whether or not he's actually contributing to the goal. But yeah, Slavkovsky benefits from that because there's three guys, in that slot area, but none of them are, putting a stick on Slav, so he's able to just bury that. He's got the whole net to shoot out, really. So nice passing play by the top line, and Slavkovsky gets his 5th of the season. So I mean, we're talking about Cole with 9, and obviously he's the goal scorer of the team in a lot of ways, but Slavkovsky with 5 goals is nothing to scoff at all, considering the fact that I'm pretty sure it took him like half the season to even get like 3 last year or whatever. So he's having a really impressive start to his season as well. Not only like in terms of points and all that, but the fact that he's like every time he's on the ice, like he's making a difference. He's making smart plays. He's winning puck battles, which is the biggest thing in my opinion. Just the way that he's able to, forecheck and in both ends of the ice, and make plays, get the puck out of the zone, all that kind of stuff. Those are the things that you're not gonna see that on the score sheet. But those are the things that in my opinion, those are the reasons why we drafted Slavkovsky, and I still personally believe that Slavkovsky is a big factor of what makes this top line with Suzuki and Caulfield so strong, is his ability to use his size and skill to create offensive plays for Suzuki and Caulfield to generate, and obviously he's getting goals as well. Getting some shots on net and all that kind of stuff. So he's having a really great start of the season, and hopefully he can keep that up into the second half of the season as well, where he usually does kind of heat up. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here, but a nice goal from him there. And then we had a really, really boring second period, which is nothing to scoff at all. It's always good when your team's got the lead and then nothing happens for the rest of the game, and we were kind of hoping that would be the case throughout. But not quite. Newhook, though, he gets his 4th of the season on the power play. The power play, the first unit was absolutely terrible because they keep going to that. Every NHL team, I don't know when it started happening, but every team just loves doing the back pass thing, where Hudson will carry it up to about the red line and then he'll throw it back to Demidov or somebody or whatever, and then what ends up happening, it's partially good because it's you can't it kind of forces the Seattle defenders or whoever to have a larger gap, and then you can build up speed to break into the zone. But what ends up happening, especially in that specific instance, is the Seattle penalty killing line just kind of lines up right on the blue line there. So there's just 4 guys standing on the blue line like an offensive lineman set up in a football game, and then you're trying to break through that, and they just were able to stop us every time we tried to get through. And it just I feel like eventually you got to get somebody to just kind of skate through and make a forward pass and then get into the zone that way, or even just dump the puck and go to work. I don't like that I play either, but you got to mix it up because I feel like we kind of do the same thing every time. But anyway, we got the second unit on there after the first unit didn't do anything at all, and then kind of just fluked our way into getting some offensive possession really late into that power play. And then Kirby Dach makes a really nice play. Obviously Dobson had a 2-point night. He gets the 3rd assist on both of those goals, both those power play goals. Both of those power play goals. But Kirby Dach is able to kind of like zip this one cross crease, kind of like what we've seen Demidov do a little bit. He cross creases this one over to Newhook, and he's able to kind of like control and rip it, and it goes. It looked like it went off skates, but I think it actually went just right through the pads. Like as Decord was kind of sliding over to make the play on Newhook, it kind of he opened his legs, and that's when the puck came in. It just kind of went off of Decord's pad and then just into the net. So a nice play. It's good to see the second unit getting some goals there as well. So really up to that point, we were looking really good. We were looking like we were gonna be able to close this one out and feel pretty good about ourselves. But credit to the Seattle Kraken. I'll tell you what, I am happy that the Montreal Canadiens no longer have to play the Seattle Kraken, because they came on quick. I mean, I personally thought like through the entirety of the second period and then through most of the third period, and obviously near the ending of the regulation frame. They look really fast, way faster than the Canadians were, especially with the transitions. I think TSN at the beginning of the game kind of alluded to the transition offense that the Seattle Kraken needed to have, and they were getting that all game. I mean, like the transitions that they were able to generate into offense. They got some not necessarily odd man rushes, but just they were really quick getting into the zone, making smart plays, and they were really forechecking. They were going really hard at our guys, like going behind the net and stuff like that, which I've seen kind of in recent games. The Canadians really like to just kind of hang out behind the net and let changes happen, stuff like that. But they were kind of trying to forecheck on that and not let us do that. So they played a really quick game is what I noticed there. And as soon as they get that first one from Montour, like that's when it started going downhill. I feel like they just kind of like got a little bit of fear in the back of their heads after that first one, and then Shane Wright, of course. Shane Wright is going to score against the Montreal Canadiens. I think that's just kind of bound to happen for the rest of time now, but at least not another one this season, because we played them twice already and we're different conferences. So thank gosh for that. But yeah, so Shane Wright gets that second one. Just nice little like one timer off of a Montour pass. He ends up getting a 3-point night all in 12 minutes. So really great for him, especially with what's going on with his family situation and stuff like that. It's great to see him have some success. Obviously, you'd like it to not be against the Canadians, but either way. But then he gets the third goal there. A nice kind of like one timer from the point that just goes through everybody. I think the biggest thing that I saw from all three of those goals is that just a lot of traffic in front of Dobesh, a lot of self-inflicted traffic, especially that Shane Wright goal. There were just two Montreal defensemen that were just kind of standing right in front of Dobesh, and it was a great shot that made it through everybody. But we're screening our own goalie, we're not getting pucks out, all that kind of stuff. That's like the same old stuff as every game, every time that we're getting scored on. I think the common theme really this season anyway is just not being able to get the puck out and just letting the other team come to us instead of the other way around. So Seattle definitely capitalized on their opportunities, and good for them. But you'd love to see the Canadians just be a little bit better at closing out games, and just being more I think just playing to win the game. I feel like, especially like we go up 2-0, then we get a 3-0 goal, and at that point we're just kind of playing to not lose the game, right? Like we're trying to hold on tight to what we've got and just hoping that we're gonna find a way to run the clock down to 0 and win the game in regulation. That obviously didn't happen, but I feel like you can't just hang back and try to kill what ended up being like 11 minutes of time or whatever between the first goal and then the end of regulation. Like you need to be able to push offensively, because if you let them come to you the whole way, they're just going to be offensively energized the whole time, and you're just not going to be able to have any success. Like no team can just hold off like offensive onslaughts for half of a period and not let in a goal or two. Like it's just, you have to be able to play in their zone if you want to win, like in the best, and that's like kind of going back to just the best best defense is offense, and it's not that like we needed to score another goal. We were up 3-0. You don't need another goal, but you do need to force Seattle to play in their own end and push offensively at the end of the game instead of trying to just kill the time. And the other bigger thing from this game, I'll look at the right now, but I feel like just way too many penalties again. Like this is a common theme. I feel like we got 5 penalties in that game, one of which ended up being a 4-on-4 with that Kirby Doc penalty near the end of the game. But that's 4 power plays that we gave Seattle there, which is just not a recipe for success by any means. They obviously scored on one of the power plays that they got. Our kit looks really great. To their credit there. So it's good to see the penalty kill looking really good. But we keep giving teams way too many opportunities on the power play to score goals against us, and that's just a really frustrating thing. Like if we want to win games, if we want to win games against really good teams, like obviously we played Edmonton, but there are other great teams out there with really solid power plays. And if we're going to give them, 4 or 5 of them a game, we're going to expect to get scored on a couple times. And we just need to be a little bit more disciplined in that way if we want to, win against those solid teams. But yeah, I mean, like those are the big things. It's just like you got to be able to close out a game in regulation. I feel like I'll look at it now, but I don't think the Canadians have very many. Yeah, we have 8 wins, and 4 of them have come from an overtime win, which is not necessarily ideal, especially when we're talking about like the tiebreakers and all that kind of stuff near the end of the season. It would be nice to have that regulation win cushion in our back pocket to, in the case of a tie or something like that. But but also, like we're at the top of the Atlantic again. We're 5th in the league right now. I don't know if, let me see if all the games have ended or not. Now, the Kings and the Sharks are still playing. I don't think either of them are going to threaten our position. So we're top 5 in the league. We're actually in a 5-way tie for number 1 in the league in terms of points, although we played one more game than the New Jersey Devils, who are 8-2-0. Really impressive start for them, by the way. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling around here, but the biggest points are just like we need to be able to close out games and just be a little bit better at playing a full 60. And I've said that in the last number of videos, but I think and being more disciplined, all that kind of stuff. But I think one of the kind of positive spins on this is, this is kind of a similar situation, almost identical, aside from like the bad penalties and stuff like that. Bad penalties meaning like interesting referee calls, but the good thing is in Edmonton. Is what I'm alluding to, the game in Edmonton the other day, or like a week ago or whatever. This is what happened, and then we ended up losing in regulation. It's good to see that even in a situation like this, where something like this happens again, where we're up by multi-goal lead, and we kind of choke that a little bit, and and they end up tying the game. It's good to see that we were able to rally back and win the game despite that. And then obviously Cole Caulfield gets that overtime goal. Suzuki gets another point. Hudson gets a point. So that's great. Cole Caulfield just kind of said, I'm ending this game. He comes in, makes a really nice move, and then just kind of like, he makes one move, goes kind of behind the net, and then like all the Seattle players just decided that he was no longer a threat to them anymore, which is kind of interesting. He was able to go around the net. He tried to tuck it, kind of behind Decor the first time. It didn't really work. And then he just kind of jammed at it one more time, and it ended up in the back of the net, and we're going home. So yeah, it was kind of interesting, like a weird kind of like lapse of judgment on the defense there. They just kind of let him, hang out behind the net, and I don't know if I would do that if I were them with a guy like Cole. Having the puck in overtime, you don't really want to give him time and space no matter where he is on the ice, but we'll take those. And in terms of the game, we love the 2 points, and nobody really asks you how you get the 2 points unless we tie at the end of the regular season, which hopefully we don't, because at the end of the day, if we have more points than other teams, then it doesn't really matter how we got those points, and a win is a win. So yeah, and Cole Caulfield with that goal gets the franchise record with 11 for most overtime goals in a career with the Montreal Canadiens. So that's another really exciting thing for him. Dobesh improves, he continues to be undefeated on the season, so that's really awesome as well. So, overall, you would love to see a little bit better ending to that game, a little bit smoother ending to that game, but it is what it is. They don't ask you how, they just ask you, how many wins you got, and the Canadians definitely have, a solid number of wins. So that's really awesome for us. So we move on. We're playing the Senators at home on Saturday, so that should be a really excited game. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. So Saturday, a really exciting game. So should be a good one to watch, and I will see you guys after that one.